Hey there, it's YoBo. Welcome back for day 133. Yes, 133 of life according to YoBo. We're still journeying up the mountain. We've learned how to live our life with no mess, no stress, no BS. And now we are pursuing the vision. We are pursuing the dream. You know that dream you had a long time ago. You know that vision. You know that goal. You know that desire. That thing that people tell you that you can't do, but you say, yes, I can, yes, I can. That's what we're talking about. Now, for the last couple of days, thank you, Karen Clark, I have been spending a little time talking about talking about agricultural terms because you know how Jesus spoke to farmers. He just broke everything down in ways they can understand. We can't relate to some of the things, for like the kingdom of heaven is like the word that was sown onto soil. The birds came and they ate the seed, and some of the seed fell on stony ground, and some of the seed fell on good ground. Well, if you're a farmer, you understand all that. You know that there's a certain process, there's a certain way the seed has to be planted. So they could totally relate to it. We're now in 2015, we're in the technological age. And when you read those scriptures, if you're not familiar with agricultural terms, it's just straight over your head. So now what's a pastor to do? Then a pastor should at least break it down in terms that people can understand. That's what I'm doing now. I'm not your pastor, but I just want to make sure that you understand, okay? And sometime in church or in Bible study, no, in church, the pastor can't break it down. If you go to Bible study, you can raise your hand and say, well, pastor, I'm not quite sure about that. Can you back up and explain that a little bit? But you know, y'all know the saints. We don't go to Bible study. We go to church. We want to be entertained, get our 2 little hours of entertainment. You know, for Bible study, we're going to have a little prayer and sit up going through the Bible for a whole hour, reading the Bible. Y'all know that's too boring for people. So we just don't know. And then when we go home, we don't sit down, we don't read, and we don't study. It's okay, though, because I'm going to break it down for you. Once I explain some of this to you, then I want you to go pull up a parable from Jesus and then read it and see if it begins to make sense to you. Okay, I went to gurneys.com. It's all about planting. Yesterday, let me see, 2 days ago, planted once is what they said. Don't be sitting up holding, what you hold on to the seed for? You better, look, if you want something, you better do something with those seeds. Yesterday's message, protect your plant roots. You can't expose the roots to everything. They have to be planted. There will be no growth unless the root is protected. The life of the plant is in the root. And right now, the stage that you and I are right now, the roots are being developed. They're being strengthened. And unless those roots can get strengthened underground, if we were to be transplanted right now, just like gurneys.com says, it says if the root is not strong enough to sustain the plant, it will wither and die. So with your little anointed and your little appointed self, obviously your roots, my roots, are not strong enough to sustain us. This all up here, oh, baby, this is all good right here. You look in the mirror. Child, you all that in a bag of chips. But the roots, not you. The roots are what's important. No matter how good you sing, when you sing, everybody in the church shout. Your roots still have to be developed. See me sitting up in this chair in front of this camera. YoBo got this down, but child, I got this down pat. You could wake me up at 3 o'clock in the morning with crust in my eyes, with drool running this way, and I could still do this. But our roots have to be developed. Next thing Gertie's talked about, when planting is delayed. I got a bit confused on this. I did preview this, and I'm trying to understand it. Remember, I'm not a farmer, but we're still going to learn something from it anyway. If the weather is warm, they are looking at a plant and they're looking at the circumstances around it. What happens when it's too warm? Or what happens when it's too cold? Then it's telling you what to do to protect the plant. If the weather is warm, you heal in the trees and the shrubs by digging a trench in a shady spot and temporarily planting the roots under 6 inches of moist soil. Okay? I tried to visualize that, get, in my head. I still couldn't visualize it, but I'm going to tell you what I did get from it. If you are in a circumstance or a situation where the conditions are not right for you, you got to do something different temporarily. For me, I need peace and quiet to work. When the TV is going, when I lived in my daddy's house, he had them noisy Negroes next door to him. Ooh, that's why I don't mind folks saying the N word, because I used to live next door to some. I'm trying to tell y'all, there's a difference in Negroes and N words. I lived next door to some for 12 years. I just can't work. I can't function. I can't concentrate. So does that mean I stopped working? No. Just like Gurney told the farmer what to do if the weather is too hot, I then need to figure out what I can do temporarily to protect my roots. And I want my roots to continue to grow. So they tell you if it's too warm, then they tell you if it's too cold. Check this out. Sprinkle the roots of the trees as if it's too cold. If it's your trees, your shrubs, or your roses, you sprinkle them with water. You rewrap the roots and you store them in a cool basement. Do not allow the stock to freeze. Then plant as soon as possible. I still can't get a visualization from that. I can't visualize it at all. But it did tell you what to do. So take your situation right now. Whatever the problem may be. If it's too, you fill in the blank. Okay? If it's too long. For me, too noisy. For somebody else, let me see. Too many crazy people around you. Too many naysayers. Too many bad breaks, setbacks, and mishaps. That's a good one because that's the series we're in. Too many bad breaks, setbacks, and mishaps. What do? Well, I'm going to tell you what you don't do. You don't let the roots die. There are ways that you can protect your roots. Then they go on to give some examples of strawberries and what to happen if you get mold onto a plant. But let me see right here. It says, do not be alarmed if the roots on some of your plants have a powdery appearance. A few varieties are susceptible to rotting while out of the ground. Ooh, this is not a problem once they're planted. Told you got to be planted. When you come out of the ground, you're susceptible to rotting. If you notice that you're beginning to rot, then what do? He told you right here. It's not a problem once they're planted, so plant as soon as you can. As soon as you notice that something is going awry in your life, if you notice that your roots are beginning to rot, you notice something is happening. As quick as you can, baby, you get back in that ground. How do you get back in the ground? Read something inspirational. Talk to somebody positive. Replay life according to YoBo while you playing, honey. I got everything you need right here. You ought not be susceptible to rotten. All right, y'all come back tomorrow for day 134 of Life According to YoBo. See you then. Oh, watch these videos on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. See ya.